Hello, buddy. Crow back with another Crow Extra video. The footage we're watching here is from Need for Speed Most Wanted, the 2012 version, because of course they named this game the same as a game that came out less than 10 years before it. I don't know why they do that, but even though this is Need for Speed, it does play like Burnout. They should have just named this game Burnout. Now, I had one person actually telling me in the comments for, I think, the Crow Plays video I did for this game, that the game is really a Need for Speed game, but I don't buy it at all. I mean, Criterion, who made the Burnout games, made this game, and they made it like Burnout. There's really no two ways around it. This is, in fact, this plays like Burnout, Paradise, what is it? Burnout Paradise City. This is like the sequel to that. But I've said that before. And this footage that you're watching is way back when I first had the game, so I'm not really that great at it. In fact, you'll be seeing, I watched this footage before I started doing a voiceover, at least this first part here, and I was really bad at evading the cops, apparently. I didn't know that you could, when you're in cooldown mode, if you parked the car and turned off the engine, that would actually help you evade the cops faster. Really didn't know that for quite some time. But anyway, let's move on to the topics this video at hand. I had one comment on my last Crow Extra video. Well, I had more than one comment, but one comment I'm going to address. It's from Mega Man Universe, and he had a question. He said, how do you normally decide which version of a game to get? Well, let me rephrase that. How do you normally decide which version of a game to get? Like, for example, if I wanted to get the PS3 or the Xbox 360 version. And that's actually an interesting question, because if you do have both systems and a game comes out for both systems, which one do you get? Well, now, for me, the typical rule of thumb is to get the PS3 version for two reasons. I like the controller more. And I know there are a lot of people like the Xbox 360 controller more, but ever since the PS1 days, the PS2 days, the PS3 controller is very similar to those, and I happen to like it. Now, granted, on the PS3, they really screwed up the R2 and L2 buttons by making them rounded instead of flat, or kind of like triggers. But I do have these add-ons that snap onto those controllers that do turn them into triggers, and with that, the controller's a lot better. But even without that, I'd have to go with the PS3 controller. The other reason is that, and this may seem ridiculous to some people, but the PS3 game cases are much, much, much better than the Xbox 360 ones. They have the nice Blu-ray cases, and they have the the nice clear, and then you have the insert, whereas the Xbox 360 games all have those really, really obnoxious green patterns that really detract from the artwork on the case. I don't think anybody will argue with me. Even the Kinect ones, the ones that are for Kinect, they have the purple cases. That's no better. But there are certain games I'll get on the Xbox 360 instead of the PS3. For example, if a game on the PS3 is very, very buggy, and it's just simply much better on the Xbox 360. An example of this would be Skyrim. Now, if I were going to get Skyrim, well, I might get the PC version of Skyrim, first of all. But if I had to choose between the Xbox 360 and the PS3, I would get the Xbox 360 version, just because I've heard that the PS3 version is really, really, really buggy. Another thing is, like, Rock Band. Anything for Rock Band I'll get for the Xbox 360. I'm not really into the Rock Band stuff so much anymore, but the reason for that is because most of the instruments I have are for the Xbox 360 version, and all of the songs I've downloaded were for the Xbox 360 version, so that's something that I won't be going to the PS3 for. Another interesting one was Tekken Tag Tournament, or any Tekken games. Since Tekken was primarily a PlayStation staple, like with, I think every game from Tekken 1 through 5 was on PlayStation hardware by itself. Like, I don't think Tekken 5 was on the Xbox 360. I think all those games were pretty much PlayStation exclusives, Tekken 1, 2, and 3 being on the PlayStation 1, and Tekken Tag Tournament 4 and 5 being on the PlayStation 2. When Tekken 6 was available for Xbox 360 and the PS3, there was no way I was going to get it on the Xbox 360. I have all the other games on the PS3. I want to keep it like that. Actually, it was the same way with like Fist of the North Star. Fist of the North Star, Ken's Rage, the first one, was available for Xbox 360 and the PS3, but I bought the PS3 version. Now, for some reason, Fist of the North Star Ken's Rage 2, it was available on, the PS3, the Wii U, and the Xbox 360. But for some reason, in the US only, it was only a retail copy for the Xbox 360. It was digital download only for the PS3 and the Xbox 360. And since I had the first game on the PS3, I really wanted the second game on the PS3. So that led me to import that game. And let me tell you, I'm still playing that game. I got that game back in March or February or something. And again, I haven't been able to play it a lot, but over the summer. But due to trying to sell stuff and everything, focusing more on that than games, I'm still playing it, believe it or not. And I just crossed the 50-hour mark on it over the weekend, so I'm gonna keep plowing away at that and seeing, how many, it's the trophies. But I want to actually complete all of the dream modes for all the characters, and I'm making some progress with that. Now, I don't know if I actually want to go back and get perfect grades on everything, right, and get all the trophies like I did in the first one, because some of those trophies will be hard to get. They're harder to get than they were in the first game. So we'll see. That remains to be seen. And I realize I just kind of went a little bit off topic from that question. But yeah, Tekken. I was talking about Tekken. Tekken Tag Tournament 2 was available on the PS3, the Wii U, and I think the Xbox 360 as well. I don't see any reason why it wouldn't be. But I got that game for Christmas, but I didn't know whether or not I should get the Wii U version or the PS3 version. The Wii U version had a little bit more bonus stuff, I think. But I still went with the PS3 version just so I could get the entire series on PlayStation. PlayStation consoles. Okay, we're gonna move on to the next topic, and that's EDT. I think 1311. Yeah, wow. Let me see. No, in fact, I really screwed up the username. EDT1138. I don't know why I got the number wrong. He was usually getting it right, but he finally came back with the top 3 Tuesdays, and I was going to make a separate video for this, but I just didn't have time to do it yesterday, so I'm just going to throw it in this video. And his top 3 Tuesday question was 3 games you love on a system you hate. And this is kind of difficult because there's not really a system I hate. Like, hate is such a strong word. I don't really hate any video game system, well, except for the Apple Pippin. And that's just because it pissed me off because it was so hard to get any games for it. Now, the Pippin is actually gone. That has sold. And I'm so happy it has sold. But, even if I did select that, I never played any actual games on it. They were so hard to find. And when you did find them, they were so expensive. So, I mean, I guess I could hate every single game that was on the Pippin just because I hate the Pippin. Or, there was actually, let me put that another way. There's no games I would love on the Pippin because it never really gave me the opportunity. What else? There was the Jaguar CD. Again, I don't hate the Jaguar CD, but I didn't really like any games that I played on it either. But the system I'm going to go with is the Nintendo 64. I really didn't like the Nintendo 64 when it came out. The entire system, to me, was a joke. And everybody I knew it was a joke. There was no reason to get it. The cartridges were way more expensive than, the PlayStation. Everybody was moving to CDs, and Nintendo stuck with cartridges. Nobody had... Well, one of my friends had a Nintendo 64, and he didn't have it too long, and I bought it off of him dirt cheap. And then I had it for maybe a month or two, and I just gave it to my dad. There was really nothing keeping me onto the Nintendo. I had the PlayStation and the Nintendo 64, and I played like the PlayStation 1 way more than the Nintendo 64. I didn't even really have that. There weren't even that many games that interested me on the Nintendo 64. But there were games on, in retrospect, I don't hate the system anymore. I still don't like it all that much. I especially don't like the controller, but just the games, the way they look. To me, they don't look as good. I know a lot of people will disagree with me, but they don't look as good as a PS1 or Saturn game. The lack of textures in most of the games really hurt the system, to me at least. But I know a lot of people disagree with me, probably leave comments saying I'm an idiot or something like that, but I really don't like the system that much. I don't hate the system, but again, it was funny is it's my wife's favorite system. And I guess what really bothers me now, too, is now that all the kids that grew up with Nintendo 64s are now older, and they're coming out with these top 10 video game console lists where the Nintendo 64 is at the top. And it really doesn't make sense to me, because that's all nostalgia to me. That, to me, is all nostalgia. But let's move on. What are the top 3 games that I love on Nintendo 64? Well, I will say Mario Kart 64. I still like that game. I like F-Zero X. And for a third game, let's just say Pilot Wings 64. Because, I like Pilot Wings. Now, you might be surprised being like, hey, there's Conker's Bad Fur Day. And I would put that up on my list. But I really haven't played that game all that much. So, I'm not going to say I love a game that I've only played like 5 minutes of. I probably would love that game if I actually sat down and played it. And I do have a copy, and I hope to play it one day. We'll see. We'll see about that, the way things are going. Right now, I've been playing one game for like the last 9 months, so, and I've been getting more and more games, and I haven't really touched those. But, there's Conker's Bad Fur Day. But 2 games that a lot of people are probably wondering why I didn't say I love them, and that's Super Mario 64. And to me, it's an okay game to me, but when it came out, I hated that game because it really, to me, it destroyed the Mario franchise. Because I liked Mario as a 2D platforming, jumping on enemies or whatever, and Mario 64 changed all the rules to that. He couldn't breathe infinitely underwater. The whole 3D environment I didn't like. It's an okay game, I can see that now, but still, I'd rather take any 2D Mario game over Mario 64. And then the other one is Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. A lot of people say, hey, that's the best game, on the Nintendo 64, it's the best game ever. Some people say, I don't see it. Nope, I liked overhead 2D Legend of Zeldas, and again, that was just another change I didn't like, because it meant we were never going to... Well, to me, I thought at the time we'd never see another 2D top overhead Legend of Zelda game, and I was wrong. We did see like what was the game, the Four Swords and stuff like that, and but still at the time I was like, yeah, and I never even played it when it first came out. That's how uninterested in that game I was. But then I got that promotional disc that had the 4 Zelda games on the GameCube, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna sit through and play this game. And I made it through halfway through the game, and then I just stopped, and I was like, I just didn't like it. I could kind of see where people would like it, but to me, I still prefer the 2D, top-down view Zelda games. Those are Zelda games to me. And I honestly really have not played a 3D environment Zelda game really ever since that Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. I did kind of mess around with Majora's Mask a little bit, but like I've never played Wind Waker, I've never played Twilight Princess. I've never even actually thought about even getting Skyward Sword. But with Mario, it's a little bit different. I didn't play I played and beat Mario 64, and I was like, okay, whatever. Mario Sunshine, I still never played. But it wasn't until Mario Galaxy and Galaxy 2 that I started to warm up to the 3D Mario games. I really do like those games. But the new Super Mario Brothers, the new 2D side-scrolling ones, I like a lot better. Much, much better than any 3D Mario game. So, I guess that's one of the reasons why I didn't make a separate video, because he wanted 3-minute videos, and, I don't know, yeah, so 1 minute per game, and I'm sure I went way off topic on that. So let's move on. Let me get a drink here first. All right. Well, eBay. I was limited to, I don't remember if it was the last video or a video before that, where I mentioned that, eBay, limits you to having 100 items or posting 100 items per month. So if you list 100 items, you can't post anything more until either the next month comes around or you cancel an auction. If somebody actually purchases an item, that still doesn't give you an item back to post. So if you post 100 items and you sell 100 items, you can't post anything more until the next month. But you could call, which is what I did before, and say, hey, can I get a higher limit? And I did that, and they upped my limit to 200. So I posted, in September, by the end of September, I had posted 200 items, and I couldn't post anything more. So I just sat there, and I was like, you know what? I already requested to up the limit, and it said that I couldn't, recommend another limit upgrade until the next month. So I was just going to sit around and wait until, because I requested that limit upgrade on September 9th, and I remember the date. And I was like, I'll just wait till October 9th and we'll request again. In the meantime, I still had about 150 things for sale still on eBay. So when the new month came rolling around, it freed up 50 more items for me to post. So this weekend, I was going to say, okay, I was going to decide 50 items to post. Well, before the weekend, I got an email from eBay saying, hey, we're upping your limit from 200 to 400. And it kind of blew me away. I was like, hey, now I don't even have to call. And 400, I think, is perfect, because I don't know if I want to post any more than 400 things for sale at once. It takes long enough just to post 50 things. I mean, for example, yesterday I posted about 30 or 40, between 30 and 40 items, and it took me a good 4 or 5 hours to do so. And meantime, I'm sitting here on my tablet watching Doctor Who episodes, old Doctor Who episodes, while I'm posting stuff. And in fact, today I want to post some Sega CD and some Saturn games, and maybe if that all goes quickly, I'll post more Wii games and Nintendo DS games. But I still got a long way to go. But yeah, I thought that was a pretty nice surprise to be able to post 400 things a month. Now, because I have the store, only 150 items can be posted for free. But each additional game that I post it's like an insertion fee of 5 cents each. So even if I go the full 400, what does it wind up costing? Like $10, $20? I don't know. I'm not going to even bother doing the math now. But I was like, you know what? Might as well just have that stuff out there, because the more stuff I have, the faster I can sell it. Moving on. And the next thing, Pinball Expo. From the time I'm speaking, will be in a week and a half. It's going to start on Wednesday, but I'm not going to show up until Tuesday. I'm really more interested in exhibit hall and the vendor area. I do have enough money earned from pinball, money saved from selling games. I could walk away from a pinball machine if I see one I'm interested in. Now, I have seen on classifieds ones that I have been interested in, and both on Pinside and on Craigslist and on the Pinball Expo has their own classified Google document, and I've kind of missed out on 3 machines that I was interested in, barely, on all 3 of them. So either I have to step up my game, or maybe it's destiny or something, and predestination or whatever you would call it. It's fate. That maybe there's something, I should have the money for instead of getting what I was looking at. But we'll see. Yeah, so the 16th is when it starts. Thursday, Friday, I'll be there for sure. Saturday, I might be there. And the only reason is, there's a couple of reasons, but I might be there with a friend. But I'm also interested if anybody else is going to be there, because, I'll be there most of the time, either in the vendor area or the exhibit area. And I have met YouTubers there in the past, not really last year, but the year before I have, but we'll see. What's funny is I'm kind of hoping that one of the machines I want will be there. Now, last year, no, I didn't see any of the machines I want this year. I didn't see them last year, but 2 years ago, when I went back to my old video from 2011 to see this, and yeah, there was 2 machines there. I would have, like, if I had the money, I would have bought them, but I didn't, so there you go. And lastly, a bit of bad news. My time machine is acting all funky. I was playing it either Wednesday or Thursday, and it kind of acting all wonky after it's been on for a while. It'll start to shut off, turn on, turn off, turn on. So I kind of was looking into the issue. I haven't really pulled apart the machine, but it could be one of the connectors has gone bad on the power supply or the transformer, or perhaps one of the components on the power supply or transformer are bad. Not what bad. Maybe it's the power supply or whatnot. But I don't know when I'll have a chance to look at it. But I'll just have to put an out of order sign on the time machine for right now. I want to actually get a lot of some stuff cleared up around here before I start working on any new projects. Kind of sucks, but it'll, like, if you turn it on, it'll work for a while, and then also it'll shut off, except for the GI. The GI lighting will stay on, but everything else will shut off. It'll turn back on. Different lights will blink. It's just very odd behavior, and so to be on the safe side, I'm just going to leave it off until I really have a chance to look at it. But yeah, that's all I have for this week. And I don't know when I'll do the next one. I probably won't. Will I do? Well, yeah, next week I may or may not do one, but I probably won't do one 2 weeks from now. I don't know. I'm just pulling stuff out of my ass. I could do one in 2 weeks because of the Pinball Expo, and I might not do one because of the Pinball Expo. I really don't know. Just like these videos, I like to do them, but I don't. It's no guarantee that I will do them every week. So, I'm just watching this video clip as I just started a, what is it, a most wanted thing where you have to escape the cops? I don't know. Thanks everyone for watching. I'll see you next time. Even though I really can't see you all. I say I see you all, but I don't really see you all. I see the numbers. That's what I see. I see the number of views, and I see your comments. That's all I can see. I can't actually see you. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you all next time. You know what? This isn't the most... It's just a race with cops. I thought it was escape the cops, but it wasn't. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you all next time. Bye.